Let me ask you something. Why do so many people start with excitement, but end up quitting? Why do dreams fade, goals get abandoned, and motivation runs out? It's not because they're weak. It's not because they're unlucky. It's because they never mastered discipline and focus. You see, talent can get you started. Motivation can light the spark. But without discipline, without focus, you'll never finish the race. That's why the ancient Stoics didn't chase motivation. They built mental armor. They trained their minds to stay steady, sharp, and relentless. Today, I'm going to show you 7 powerful Stoic lessons that will help you stay focused, stay disciplined, and build a success that actually lasts. Because in the end, it's not about doing it once. It's about doing it every day, even when you don't feel like it. Are you ready to stop being distracted, stop quitting, and start showing up for yourself? Let's begin. Lesson 1. Discipline is doing it, even when you don't feel like it. Here's something the Stoics deeply understood, and it's something most people today forget. You won't always feel motivated. There will be days when you wake up tired, days when you feel overwhelmed, days when the excitement is gone and everything feels boring or difficult. That's normal. That's life. But here's the truth. Discipline shows up even when motivation doesn't. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, taught that true freedom doesn't come from doing whatever you want. It comes from learning how to control yourself. And that's what discipline really is. Choosing to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Think about it. If you only work hard when you're excited, or only stay focused when things are easy, you'll never be consistent. And if you're not consistent, you won't see progress. But if you learn to push through on the days you feel lazy, tired, or discouraged, you create something powerful. Mental strength. Every time you show up despite how you feel, you train your mind to follow through. You teach yourself that feelings don't control your actions. You do. This is what separates successful people from the rest. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They don't wait to feel inspired. They simply show up no matter what. Because in the end, success doesn't come from feelings. It doesn't come from random bursts of motivation. It comes from doing the work over and over again, especially on the hard days. That's the real meaning of discipline. Showing up for yourself every single day, whether you feel like it or not. And once you master that, you become unstoppable. Lesson 2. Focus is saying no to 99% of things. Most people think focus is about having a clear goal, but that's only part of it. True focus isn't just about what you choose to do. It's about everything you're willing to say no to. The Stoics knew that life is full of distractions. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, would ask himself, "Is this essential?" If it wasn't essential, he let it go. He refused to waste time and energy on things that didn't align with his mission. Today, we live in a world that's even more distracting. Notifications, social media, endless entertainment. Everyone wants your attention. But here's the truth. Every time you say yes to something meaningless, you're saying no to something meaningful. Imagine your attention as a powerful spotlight. You can shine it on 100 things and barely light up anything. Or you can focus it on one thing and see it clearly. That's what focus does. It brings clarity, it brings depth, it brings progress. If you want to achieve success, you have to ruthlessly cut out what doesn't matter. That means saying no to gossip, no to drama, no to wasting hours scrolling, no to overcommitting. It's hard at first, because saying no can make you feel guilty. It can make you feel like you're missing out. but every no you say to distractions is really a yes to your goals, a yes to your growth, a yes to your future. The most successful people in the world don't do everything. They do less, but they do it with more focus, more intention, more depth. So ask yourself, what are you willing to say no to? What distractions are stealing your energy? What obligations no longer align with your purpose? Because here's the secret. Focus isn't about doing more. It's about doing less. So you can do what matters most, better. When you learn to say no to 99% of things, you free yourself to pour everything you have into the 1% that truly counts. And that's where greatness is built. Lesson 3. Small daily wins. Beat big occasional efforts. Most people believe success is about making one big, bold move. They think it's about having one breakthrough moment or taking a giant leap that changes everything. But the Stoics knew something wiser. It's not the big moments. It's the small, consistent actions every single day that shape your life. Seneca once said, "Well-being is realized by small steps, but it is no small thing." In other words, greatness isn't created in sudden bursts. It's built slowly, patiently, day by day. Think of it like a drop of water. One drop doesn't seem powerful, but drop by drop over time, it can wear away even the hardest stone. That's the power of small, daily wins. Here's the problem. Most people wait for motivation to strike before they act. They wait for the perfect time. They wait for everything to line up before they begin. And because of that, they do nothing. Or they take action only once in a while in big, unsustainable bursts. But real progress comes from showing up every day, no matter how small the effort. It's writing 500 words, even when you don't feel inspired. It's going for a 10-minute walk, even when you can't do a full workout. It's reading 5 pages of a book, even when you're busy. Why? Because every small win adds up. Every small action builds momentum, and momentum is powerful. It makes it easier to keep going, even on tough days. Big efforts done once in a while can feel impressive, but they're inconsistent. Small efforts done every day might feel ordinary, but they're reliable, and they compound over time. Imagine the difference. Someone who practices the piano for 10 hours once a month versus someone who practices for 20 minutes every day. Who do you think will improve faster? The answer is obvious. The same is true for your dreams, your goals, your habits. You don't need to do everything at once. You just need to do something consistently, faithfully, patiently. And over time, those small daily wins, they will turn into extraordinary results. Remember, success isn't found in big occasional efforts. It's hidden in the small things you do every day. Even when no one's watching, that's where your future is being built. Lesson 4. You have to train your mind before you train anything else. There's a powerful truth the Stoics understood. Everything starts in the mind. Before you can control your actions, before you can change your habits, before you can succeed in any area, you must first learn to control your own mind. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." That reaction? It begins with your thoughts. Think about it. You can have the best tools, the best plans, the best strategies. But if your mind is weak, if you're easily discouraged, easily distracted, easily overwhelmed, none of those things will matter. You'll keep quitting when it gets hard. You'll keep doubting yourself. You'll keep sabotaging your progress. That's why mental training has to come first. Training your mind means learning how to stay calm when things go wrong. It means learning how to stay focused when the world is full of noise. It means building the strength to keep going even when you feel tired, scared, or frustrated. And just like physical strength, mental strength doesn't happen overnight. It's something you build little by little. Every time you resist temptation, every time you stay disciplined, every time you choose patience over anger, focus over distraction, you're training your mind to be stronger. Imagine your mind as the captain of a ship. If the captain is panicking, the whole crew falls into chaos. But if the captain stays calm and focused, the ship stays steady, even in a storm. Your mind is your captain, and if you don't train it, it won't know how to handle life's storms. Most people spend hours training their bodies, learning new skills, working on their careers, but they neglect their mindset. They don't realize that without mental strength, everything else crumbles when life gets hard. But when you train your mind first, you become unshakable. You become someone who doesn't quit at the first sign of trouble, someone who doesn't fold under pressure, someone who stays focused no matter what's happening around them. So before you chase success, before you chase achievement, before you chase goals, start by building a mind that's disciplined, focused, and resilient. Because once your mind is trained, everything else becomes easier. Lesson 5. Create systems, not just goals. Here's something that most people miss when they're trying to achieve success. Setting goals isn't enough. It's easy to write down goals. It's easy to say, I want to lose weight, or I want to make more money, or I want to be more disciplined. But the Stoics knew that intentions without action lead nowhere. Seneca said, if one does not know to which port one is sailing, no wind is favorable. In other words, it's not enough to have a destination. You need a clear path to get there. That path, it's called a system. A goal is the result you want, but a system is the process you follow every day to make that result inevitable. Let me give you an example. If your goal is to write a book, you could keep telling yourself, I'm going to write a book one day. But if you don't have a system, a plan to write, let's say, 500 words every morning, that book will never get written. If your goal is to get fit, you could say, I want to lose 10 kilos. But if you don't create a system where you exercise at 6 a.m. every weekday and plan healthy meals in advance, you'll keep falling off track. The Stoics believed in aligning daily actions with their core values. They didn't just talk about being virtuous, they built habits that made virtue a way of life. The problem with only having goals is that goals depend on motivation. Systems depend on commitment and consistency. When you have a system, you don't need to keep relying on willpower every day. The system carries you. It turns actions into habits. It makes the process automatic. Without a system, every day becomes a negotiation. Should I work out today? Should I write today? Should I practice today? But with a system, there's no question. You already know what needs to happen. And here's the secret. Systems are what create results, not dreams, not wishes, not random bursts of effort. So if you're serious about achieving success, stop focusing only on the finish line. Start focusing on building a system that keeps you moving forward, step by step, day after day. Because when you build the right system, success stops being something you chase and starts being something you naturally grow into. Lesson 6. Discipline delays pleasure for greater rewards. One of the hardest lessons in life, and one of the most powerful, is learning to wait, learning to delay pleasure. And the Stoics knew this well. In today's world, we're surrounded by instant gratification. You're hungry? You can get fast food in 10 minutes. You're bored? Open your phone and scroll endlessly. You want entertainment? It's one click away. But here's the truth the Stoics understood. What's easy now often makes life harder later, and what's hard now makes life easier later. Discipline is the ability to choose what you want most over what you want right now. Think about it. You want to be healthy? That means saying no to junk food today so you can enjoy strength and energy tomorrow. You want financial freedom? That means saying no to impulse spending today so you can build wealth for your future. Every time you practice discipline, you're trading temporary comfort for lasting rewards. Epictetus taught that we must learn to control our desires, because desires pull us in every direction. If we can't say no to what tempts us in the moment, we'll become slaves to every craving, every distraction, every urge. Discipline is what gives you back your power. It's what lets you say, yes, I could take the easy way right now, but I'm choosing the better way. I'm choosing patience. I'm choosing growth. I'm choosing the long game. And here's something powerful. The more you practice delaying pleasure, the stronger you get. At first, it's tough. Saying no feels painful, but over time, you start to enjoy the process. You start to take pride in the fact that you can wait, that you can endure, that you're not ruled by your impulses. When you delay pleasure, you're not depriving yourself. You're investing in yourself. You're setting yourself up for greater rewards down the road. And the people who can delay pleasure? They're the ones who achieve real success, because they're willing to sacrifice short-term comfort for long-term greatness. So next time you're tempted by the easy way out, ask yourself, am I choosing what I want most, or just what I want right now? Remember, discipline is choosing the greater reward, and that choice will change your life. Lesson 7. Focus turns good into great. There's something very few people realize. Hard work alone isn't enough. You can work for hours every day, but if your effort is scattered, if your attention is divided, you'll stay stuck at good. The Stoics knew that true excellence comes from focused effort. Seneca warned about being busy without purpose, saying, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." That's exactly what happens when we try to do too many things at once. We start projects, but never finish them. We spread ourselves thin. We work harder, but not smarter. And in the end, we stay average, not because we lacked effort, but because we lacked focus. Focus is the ability to narrow your attention, to block out distractions, to pour everything you've got into one thing at a time. And when you do that, you go deeper, you get better, you move faster. Imagine a magnifying glass under the sun. If you keep moving it around, nothing happens. But if you hold it still, focusing the light on one spot, it can create fire. That's what focus does. It intensifies your power. When you focus, you notice details others miss. You improve skills others overlook. You find solutions others never think of. And over time, this depth of effort elevates you from good to great. But focus requires sacrifice. You have to say no to multitasking, no to unnecessary commitments, no to constant distractions, and yes to dedicated time, deep work, and complete presence. Most people never reach their full potential because they keep switching lanes. They never stay with something long enough, deep enough, focused enough to master it. But when you commit your focus, truly commit, you tap into a different level of achievement. So ask yourself, where am I spreading myself too thin? Where do I need to focus more deeply? Because the truth is simple. Hard work makes you good. Focused hard work makes you great. And if you want to stand out, if you want to build excellence, if you want to create something truly valuable, you have to learn to focus. Focus isn't a skill you're born with. It's a discipline you build, and once you master it, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Success doesn't happen by chance, it happens by choice. Every day, you have the chance to show up, stay disciplined, stay focused, and move closer to the life you want. It won't always be easy. It won't always feel exciting. But if you stay committed, if you keep going, the results will come. Thank you for watching. If this message inspired you, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Stay strong, stay focused, and never stop working on becoming the best version of yourself.